Google Sheets Video 2, let's take a look at the workspace. Find out how much area we have to work with here. So we're in our practice sheet number 1. And I'm going to zoom using the shortcut on the ribbon. I'll go out to 150%. The location of this cell, A1, is what we would call home. So when it's time to go back to the home cell, A1 is the address of that. Let's find out how many columns there are. One of the shortcut keys you can use in order to get to the furthest column to the right is to hold down the Control key and then press the right arrow key. Let's take a look at your keyboard. That Control key is identified in the lower left. CTRL, Control. And you use that key along with other keys to perform various operations in different computer programs. Now, to get to the furthest column to the right, what you will do is hold down the Control key, and there's also one over here on the right side. You push the Control key and then press the right arrow key. These are the keys that are located to the right section of your keyboard. Hold down Control and at the same time press the right arrow key and you will go to the furthest column to the right. Also note the location of the Shift key, which is also on both sides of the keyboard. And those are two of the keys we'll be using for some shortcut keystrokes here in the next couple videos. Shift key right there. Press Control, press the right arrow key, and notice it takes you all the way out to column Z. So then we have 26 columns that we can work with. In order to get back to A1, you could press these arrow keys. Eventually you'd get back there. Go back to Control Z. Another shortcut key that you can use is the Home key, located to the right of backspace. Hold down Control, press Home, you're back to A1. To get to the last row, do so in a similar fashion. Hold the Control key, press the down arrow key, and that'll take you down to cell A1000. So we have 1,000 rows that we can work with. So there's a lot of space to utilize here on this sheet. Press Control Home to return back to the top of the worksheet. So Control right arrow to get to the furthest column to the right. Control down arrow to get to the furthest row at the bottom. To get back to A1, Control Home. So that will give you an idea of how much workspace there is on just one sheet. Let's take a look at two shortcut keys we can use to select an entire column or an entire row. A couple of ways to do that. If we want to select all of a column, we could select the letter of the column, and that will select everything within column A. There's all of column B, C, and D. A shortcut way to do that is to hold the Control key and press your space bar. And you can see it performs the same function using the keyboard. If I'm over here in column D, I press Control, space bar, and it would select everything in column D. We can also select an entire row in a similar fashion by holding down the Shift key, pressing the space bar. We selected all of row 1. If I'm down here in D9, I hold the Shift key down, press space, select everything within row 9. And you can also select the number of the row, and it will also select everything in that row. So that will conclude video 2, just a little tour of the size of the worksheet, and then a couple of shortcut commands that you can use to select an entire column or an entire row.